Hello, system and soul sisters. Got another Friday training for you. So excited. This is one that you're gonna want to have a notebook or your notes app up on your phone. Does anyone use that? I'm obsessed with my notes app. I use it 50 times a day, probably. Yay, hey Madeline. Hello. Oh my goodness. If you guys are hopping on live, say hello so I know you're here. And I know I'm not just talking to myself with Griff at my feet, which happens a lot. Let's be real. If you guys are hopping on and catching the live, let me know. Comment replay or hashtag replay, or I think the emoji I picked in my post was a dinosaur because it's cute. So this training won't be super long, but like I said, grab a notebook or your notes app. Be ready to write this down. And if you're in my boot camp that starts in a couple weeks in the Dream Team boot camp, you'll actually get a full template for this. So you can just sit back and relax. So what to include? So the reason that I love this training and this topic is because, especially in this new online world of hiring, it's what are the rules? What am I supposed to include? What am I not supposed to include? And a lot of times I see people just hey, I need a VA who knows how to use ClickFunnels, and that's all that they do. And then you have to do a lot of vetting and qualifying on the phone with them or in interviews, and that's just time consuming. So what this posting does, or what these things that you'll definitely want to include that I'm going to give you here, is that they vet people before, so that you can put this posting out, and rather than getting 80 messages or applications or however you do it, maybe you'll get 80 and over half of them are unqualified. Maybe you'll get 25, and most of them are mostly qualified. So it just saves you time of sifting through everything, and really make sure you find people who are serious about this. Because I know I was just talking to someone who joined our boot camp, and she had hired in the past. She's a yoga instructor, author, just a speaker, does events, all this amazing stuff. Hi, if you're watching. And if any of you are interested, check out her books, The Science of Yoga. So cool. Can't wait to check that out myself. She hired someone who was in the yoga world. They were a yogi. They wanted to learn how to do what she did and write books and be a teacher and all this stuff. So, but she wasn't in the social media world, which is what she needed to hire. So she's well, this is cool. They get my world. But then it ultimately didn't work out because that person didn't want to do social media. They wanted to do yoga stuff. So this helps really qualify the people and make sure that they're your vibe, your tribe, your people. So I'm going to list off, I have 9 things here to include, and some of these sections when you're writing this out might be longer, some might be shorter, and then at the end I might share a couple things, or maybe just throw out things not to include yet. So yay, if you guys are excited, let me know. I'm so excited. And excuse Griff, he thinks that we have a shared hallway in our apartments, and he thinks that it's his hallway. There's someone out there right now in his hallway. How dare they walk into their apartment? Okay, so first thing to include is who you are. Hey, here's who I am. Here's my business. I am a yoga teacher. I am a graphic designer looking to hire. So just sharing sharing who you are. And you can make that only your business title, or you can make it a bit more personal. Hey, I love tacos, and I'm also a business coach. I'm a business coach who loves tacos. I'm looking at just something personal about yourself, who you are, because a lot of people reading this don't know you yet. Some of them might, a lot of them don't. The next thing you'll definitely want to include is, like I mentioned, your business and your mission. So what do you do in your business? Who do you serve? Do you help other entrepreneurs? Do you help women? Do you help children? Do you help athletes? Like, what is your mission? What are you here to do? What is your business here to do? And that really, like, sharing that, and what I have in here, I recommend kind of using this order. What I see a lot of people do is like, hey, I'm hiring a VA, here's the skills I need. And then after that, then they're like, also here's a bit about my business and my like core values and stuff like that. I don't love that because a lot of people aren't going to read all of it. And of course, if they're applying, like, you want them to read the whole thing, but they might not. They might just read the top, say, ooh, I can do ClickFunnels, and skip to the bottom, figure out how to apply, and like go from there. If you start off with your mission, that automatically gets people who are like, oh, yeah, I do want to do that. I want to help with that message. Like, I'm super interested in that. Hey, Tamara, yay. So excited. Okay. So that's first thing is who you are. Second thing, your mission, who you serve, who you help. And then right from there, and these might just be like 2 lines, like it doesn't have to be big paragraphs. And then the next thing you want to share is your values. So you do want to lead with that. I was just reading through an application today, like right before this, and it was this long application page. It was great. And it didn't list their core values until like the bottom. And again, like, you're gonna hope that people read the whole thing, especially if they're applying, and maybe you've like snuck in some sneaky things like in the middle that you will like be able to tell if they didn't read it. But I really, really, really recommend leading with those. So you're gonna write out what your core values are. So for example, some of my business's core values are honesty and transparency. So I want to lead with that, like right off the bat. Like, that's something that's like non-negotiable. Like, that's our culture, that's our vibe, like that's important to me and to anyone I hire. Another one is freedom and flexibility. So as most of you might know my story, I started as a VA, and then I was coaching other women how to be VAs. So it was like laptop freedom, like freedom. I don't want to hire people and then force them to be glued to their computers and glued to my schedule. Like, that's why I got into this business. That's why I'm assuming anyone I hired got into their business. Like, I'm going to assume that if I hire a social media manager, they didn't start their social media business so that they could be at my beck and call. No. So, like, we're all about freedom, flexibility, all that kind of stuff. My hair looks differently. It looks like I cut it on one side. Let me know if you're loving this. If you have, I'm curious too. So having core values is something I learned when I was working at an agency I was at, and we got that, but I learned it because of that from Cameron Harold, having really, 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 really like solid, clear core values of your business that you share with your team. So I'm curious, A, if you've done that, and if you have, what are some of them? Like, comment, let me know. So those are 2 of mine. Of course, I'm just saying how important they are, and I'm like, what are my other 2? Communication is another one. Communication, like, above all, over everything, always like over communicate. And then I know I had 4. I have 4 written down. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, I'm curious if you've ever gone through an exercise that like got you to your core values that you've like officially created, or if you're just like, no, I haven't done an exercise, but these are the 5 things that are important to me. These are my core values. Yeah, really curious. I love hearing what other people's are. They always give me ideas. I'm like, oh, I want to take that. That's a good one. That's mine too. Okay, so now that we've got all that out of the way, we've got like who you are, your mission, your business, your values, like boom. Now we've like seeded through some people who don't care about that and are like just in this for the money, like, or they just like, oh, well, if that's what her business is, I actually am not really into that. So it's like attracting and repelling, the same that you would do for your clients. Like, you want to attract the people who love you and comment on your stuff, calling you their queen, like lovely Tamara. And you want to repel the people that like aren't your vibe tribe. So this is the same exact thing. Like, any application you've ever created for your clients, this is the same thing. Like, the same. You want to vet people. even more than your clients, like for your team. So the next thing you want to include is who you're hiring. So you don't just want to post and say, hey, I'm looking for some help. I need someone to help me with my design, or I need someone to help me with my Instagram. Like, and this is something else we go over in the Dream Team Bootcamp, is coming up with a job description. So you just want to say like, hey, and like you'll announce it in the probably in the very beginning, like, I'm hiring, but like, cool, like who I'm hiring. Now, who I'm hiring a virtual assistant, I'm hiring a social media manager, I'm hiring a project manager, I'm hiring a support coach, like whoever it is, this is like, now we're gonna talk about who this person is that you're looking for. So write that, a little blurb about that, and then from there, you'll probably start having some bulleted sections. So the first bullet section, which you can like make cute with emojis if that's your jam, that's totally my jam, is traits, skills, like characteristics of this person. So, and it can be like a mix, but if you're like, cool, like this, say you're hiring for a social media manager. Okay, I am looking for someone who, like this person has, or like if this is you, you have experience with online marketing. You are a go-getter, you have initiative, you are fun and like horses or whatever, which you would think is a requirement of my team because we all do love horses, but it actually wasn't. So just like going through like different like, yeah, skills, and then also characteristics. Like if you're like, I need this person to be super outgoing because you're going to be talking to my clients, or I need this person to like thrive in the back end of the business because you're going to be like doing all the systems in the back end, stuff like that. You'll probably have around 8 to 10 of these. And if you have more, I recommend writing them all out, just like word vomiting all of the things you want this person to have, and then like combining and distilling and like picking the 8 to 10 most important. And then from there, so that's a one bulleted section. Let me know if this is helpful, by the way. The next section, you're going to write tools they must have experience in, like non-negotiable. Like this person must know how to use ConvertKit and ClickFunnels, like already have experience in them. Like list all those things, or like they must, like it's an absolute must that they have managed someone's social media before. Things like that that are like really important to you, and like make sure you're like super clear on why it's important they know it before, because ultimately culture's like a culture fit is the yummiest person to hire. And it's like, I understand, like if you're hiring so that you can get the tech off your plate, you might not want to train someone in the tech. But if you're hiring and you're willing to like invest in that person who already has all these skills, that's great. If you're hiring and you're like, I don't have a huge budget for this, then you might have to do some training. And that's what this, so like you'll have the must-haves, and then you'll have a little like nice-to-have section. Like these are requirements, absolutely. If you don't have experience in ClickFunnels, like don't apply kind of thing. And then you'll have a little like also willing to train in X, Y, and Z. Or if you're willing to train in all of them, you can say that. Like this ideal person has experience in these 6 tools and platforms. However, I'm also willing to train if you have like basic knowledge of whatever. It'll make sense once you're actually writing it. Let me know if you have any questions. Even if you're watching the replay, like I come in here and I check these. So this is like a super, and I'm not sharing this stuff on my page either, by the way. Like this is stuff that's literally like in my bootcamp for my one-on-one clients, like not just the like little free trainings on my personal page that are still super juicy too. But this one I wanted to make just for you guys. Okay, where was I? Okay, so we have who you are, your mission, what you do, who you serve, your values, who you're looking for, traits that they have, characteristics, some skills, and then tools that are like must have, and then tools that are nice to have. So that's where we're at. So we're almost done. And this post might be fairly long. Again, that's a good thing. Like if you're worried that it's too long and people aren't going to get through all of it, that's a good thing, because the people who want to work for you and the people who are like dying for this position, they will read through it, and the people who aren't serious about it won't. Like, that's what we're trying to do here. We're not making it intentionally long and like adding in a bunch of fluff just to deter people, but it's a nice, like, this will feel long, and that's okay. So I just want to like throw that out there. You don't feel like you have to shorten it or take things out. Like, it should be long. Okay, so the last couple things. So once you get down here, so you've already shared, they can already like feel your vibe by now, because you've like shared your mission, they've read this far. But you can also share a bit more again about like culture, like, you know, this is an amazing opportunity for you to learn and grow with my business. Like, we're all about having fun, even if it's just you. Like, I'm all about having fun and growth and learning. Like, we will grow together. Maybe we'll go on trips together and like be best friends. Like, you can like share, like, again, a little something to get them to be like, oh, like, that sounds amazing. I really want to do that. I want to work with her. Yes. So you can share like another blurb about culture and your vibe. And then, because you don't want to just end on the skills. Like, yes, lead with culture, put the skills in the middle, and then find a little like culture blurb. And then the last thing that's super important is to leave instructions on how to apply. So do you want them to email you? Do you want them to send you a DM? Do you want them to create a video? Do you want them to answer specific questions? What I like to do is, and we'll teach this full process inside the bootcamp, but what I like to do is have them answer like 3 to 4 questions in the first email. So they'll email you answering these 3 to 4 questions, and you can kind of get a feel of their vibe, and you'll have them like use a really specific subject line. So like, if they don't copy and paste the subject line exactly, you can literally just be like, well, fuck you. Like, no, follow instructions. I'm looking for a VA who has attention to detail. So that's been, I actually love that, because that just weeds out people as well. But yeah, you'll have them answer these three or four questions that you can like personalize yourself as well. I'll give you I suggest, because I love it, but it's not like, oh, how many years of experience do you have as a social media manager? It's things like, what would you do if you met a genie on a beach and you got like 3 wishes? Because then you can like really see like, what's this person like? Like, are they funny? Are they serious? Are they like kind of weird? And then from there, you'll take them through another process, and I like to have them do some kind of video answering like more like questions about the role, and like just a whole other process. But you want to have really specific instructions on how to apply at the end, or either people won't know how to apply, or they'll reach out to you everywhere, and they'll like DM you and email you and somehow get your phone number and text you and like send you a postcard, like, which is, you probably want that person because they're like really motivated. But yeah, I see that happen a lot, where people won't give any instructions on how to apply, and really all you're doing is inviting a ton of unqualified people to you. Having them email you or DM you and answering specific questions just shows that they can follow instructions. It shows they can take initiative. It shows that they're dedicated to like doing it right. And it will save you time. If you just say, send me a DM if you're interested, you'll get a ton of DMs, and then you have to like start the conversation and ask them and talk to them and keep it going. You don't have like 40 messages in your inbox or 25 emails you have to reply to every day. It's like, no. Have them answer set questions. They'll reach out to you with those questions answered, and then you can move them on to the next step. Not something where you have to like spend 3 days glued to your phone just weeding out all these weird people. No. Gotta be efficient here. So those are the 9 things I recommend, and the order I recommend. You can always tweak this a little bit, and sometimes some sections might not apply with like tools that they must have or need to have, or you're willing to train on or whatever. But for the most part, this is just a really solid flow, and excited to give out my template for it in the bootcamp. If you want more info on that, #dreamteam below, or send me a DM and I'll send you more info. It's a 6-week online boot camp. Spots are filling up, and yeah, you'll get like templates for stuff like this. You'll get templates for how to actually run an interview, because I know what happens a lot, because I've had that experience before. It's like 20 minutes before your interview, and you're supposed to be interviewing them, and you're like, oh my God, like what do I even ask them? You either show up and you have no idea what to say, or you're like Googling like interview questions beforehand. So yeah, those are just a taste of some of the things we'll go over, and then plus a lot more. So if you want more info on that, comment, let me know. And so let me see, check comments here. Yay, Tamara, culture over experience. Pro tip, if you just screen record and do a voiceover walkthrough for something you do that you're planning on handing off to someone, it'll save you time. Yes. Oh my gosh. You know this is my favorite way to train people, because you went through the Laptop Freedom Program, and that's what all of my videos are, all my trainings are. My hair is driving me crazy if you guys can't tell. All my trainings are screen recordings, and it's the fastest way. Yeah, it may take you like 60 seconds longer to do the thing. Like if you're going to go in and you're going to respond to an email, and you're like, this email will take me 2 seconds. And then you actually have to, you like record yourself and like have to talk someone through it. Maybe it'll take you 60 seconds instead of 2. But then you send it to them, and then they can do it for you forever. So yes, I love that tip. It doesn't even feel like training. And honestly, something I used to do too, I just can't with my hair. Something I used to do when I was hiring, we're getting ready to hire, is I would start making the videos before. Like I was like, I know that I am going to want someone answering these messages, so I'm just going to I have time right now, I have a few extra minutes, I'm going to make the training video, and I'll save it and have it forever for when that person is hired, when they're on. Like I'll start documenting with my social media manager now. So like right now I'm writing I'm writing all of my content myself, and this mirror is backwards. Do you guys ever do that when you're on lives where like you go to tuck it, but you do the wrong hand, or like adjust anything? What I'm doing with my social media manager now, I'm writing everything myself, whereas she was helping me a lot before, like writing. And what I'm doing is every single time I create a post, I go save it in a Google Doc. And I don't know what she does with it. I don't care what she does with it. She uses it for something, repurposing. She uses it for lots of stuff. But I started doing that before she was even helping me with this new brand and this new messaging. I was like, hey, by the way, for the past couple weeks, I've been just saving and cataloging all of my posts so that you don't have to scroll through like 6 months worth of posts on my Facebook page and like lose them and forget them, and like that takes forever. So just like anything you can do that just like adds 2 seconds to your day but will save you time and money later, and save your future team members time and money, it's like that doesn't add any time to my day. I make 2 clicks. I click to open the document and I copy and paste it, and it saves so much time. So yes, thank you for that tip. I love it. Okay, and we'll definitely be doing more trainings on training and delegating and onboarding your new team members, because that's like the next step. Like, cool, I have this job posting, I have a bunch of applications, now what? We're like, okay, I hired someone, now what? So lots more coming. And if you're at the point where you're like about to hire, you're like, I need to just comment, let me know, and I'll send you more info on the boot camp. Yay, love you guys. Mwah. Happy Friday.